would like to thank our amazing sponsors, TouringPlans Travel. Their destination specialists work with you to plan and book your trip, whether you're traveling to a theme park, headed out on a cruise, or wanting to get away anywhere in the world. As experts in smart travel, their agents suggest the best itineraries and activities to fit your family's needs, and handle all the reservations on your behalf. There is no cost to you or your family when using TouringPlans Travel services, and you may even save some money if discounts become available after booking. So head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Genie Plus today.
Yes, all the things.
All the things. It is our Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. Is it worth it episode? It's a question we get every single day. And so we are going to completely break it down on today's episode for you. And if you're thinking about getting it, not getting it, this is perfect for you. But before we jump into that, we actually need to give a shout out to a trip coming out where we probably will be using Genie Plus. We're going to be in the parks here in, I don't know what, 3 weeks? Less than 4 weeks, Doug?
Something like that. May 30th, 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, back in Storybook Circus Land. We'll be in that tent way in the back. Grab a snack from the Big Top Treats and come on over, say hello, and then maybe we'll hop on the train to get back to the front of the park. I don't know. Hopefully we don't have a Tron return time right then. That messes it all up. But May 30th, Magic Kingdom, come say hi, because we board the Star Cruiser on the 31st.
We do, and I'm getting excited for it. Definitely going to be a great episode that we do there coming up.
Yeah, the morning of June 1st will be our excursion day into Batu.
Oh, you can find us in Batu if you want.
We'll be in character. Not really in character in Batu.
We have Arabesque shirts.
Yeah, well, I think that's, halfway trying.
We'll be doing a special Patreon episode the week before we leave where Derek and Doug dive into our backstories of what we're going to be doing. So if you want to hear that Patreon episode in about 3 weeks, you're going to have to join our amazing Patreons. We actually have 3 new ones we need to give a shout out to. And Doug wants me to go on last names. So I'm going to give...
You need to do last names.
I'm going to try last names on this one. So
they're going to be good.
Thank you, Anne Romagnolo. How'd I do? You think that was...
I don't think that's right at all.
Okay, thank you, Anne. Let me know how to say your last name.
Romagnolo.
Okay.
I don't know.
Elena Schwendy.
Sure. I don't know.
And Lindsay Martin, thank you for having the easiest last name on that group. But thank you to all of our Patreons for your amazing names and also your amazing support, getting all the bonus episodes, the Zoom calls. We're going to be doing a special Patreon live little mini episode while we're down there. So a lot of things coming up. And thank you guys so much for supporting the show.
Yeah, and time for some Apple Podcast reviews. And speaking of reviews, Derek, we hit a milestone.
We did! 500! Last week we said if we hit 500, we were going to do a giveaway. Thank you, everyone. We were like 8 away last week, and now 501 cleared it. So
yes.
Good enough to do a giveaway.
So halfway to the number we really need.
1,000?
1,000. Let's get
Help
to 1,000.
Help us get there.
All right, so here's how it's going to work. If you want to get entered to win a Rope Drop Radio prize pack, which will come from yours truly here, you need to go onto the social media of your choice, either Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and you post and tag us and you share with your friends, families, followers your favorite episode of Rope Drop Radio. So you'll want to tag us in the post and then say why you like the show, because it's all about praising how wonderful we are, and then say what your favorite episode is. And if you can put a link to that episode, bonus points. Maybe I'll enter those people twice. I don't know.
Okay.
So also, because this is how we're going to do it, if you have a private Instagram or private Twitter, we can't necessarily see it. And same thing with Facebook. So you have to screenshot your post and send it to us via social media. We'll be able to get your messages, even if you do have a private account. But like Instagram, if you have a private account and you post it, we can't see it. I'm not talking about a story, a post.
Okay.
A post on all 3. You don't have to post on all 3. You want to post on all 3, go for it. You'll enter 3 times. So you want a post, you want to put tag us, and then share which is your favorite episode. And if it's the Everest or
That's
Space
my
Mountain
favorite episode. That
or
was
Star
mine.
Tours, those are you're invalid.
They
can't
count.
be entered.
Thank you. A couple of our Patreons actually messaged me last week sharing that they are excited that Doug gets to do Tron. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to mic him up for that. So it's
deep
coming.
breaths.
New one coming. So here we go.
So okay. But we got to read a review, Derek.
Oh, yes, we do have to
read.
read. Yeah, don't.
So enter the contest. Put a post out, favorite episode, tag us, send us a screenshot.
Here we go. Beat that horse to death. We got it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not enough. All right, here is our review this week, and it's a doozy. Disney Dads Are Hot, 5 stars, by Festus Frog. I'm
happy with that review already.
it's
you
a
win.
Thing.
Go on.
All right. In case you weren't aware, Disney Dads Are Hot. I should know I've been married to one for over 25 years. With this show, you get not just one, but 2 hilarious hot Disney dads who dish about all the Disney parks. I love that they know both D-Land and WDW, and that they have strong opinions about all the attractions, foods, and resorts. I'm loving being a new listener because I have so many episodes to catch up on. Keep it up, HDDS.
Awesome.
We are
hot Disney dads. All right.
Especially when we're in Florida in the summer.
Hot. We're sweating quite a bit. Very hot. Well, that is a great review. I appreciate that. My ego has gone up a little bit. I love it.
Definitely the first review like that.
Yes. But it's okay. She's married to a hot Disney dad, so we like him too.
Not us. They've been married longer than either of us have been
married.
So,
that's true. So
not one of our wives
that wrote that review.
Festus Frog.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Keep them coming again. Thank you guys so much for helping us hit 500, and we'll keep reading them every week and hopefully never run out. So there you go. Reviews. We got all that covered. Now we got to get into our review. I was trying to turn it. Okay. Review of Genie Plus and all the things. I failed at that one. I'm not even editing that out, Doug. But we are going to continue to answer the questions of, is it worth it? But this week we'll be talking all things Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. So let's start by addressing the actual numbers behind this. Doug, how much does it cost?
Here we go. We're going to do everything as of today, the day we're recording this, May 2nd. So the price for Genie Plus, not Disney Plus. Disney Plus is a show. Genie Plus changes from day to day. So does individual lightning lanes. So individual lightning lanes are all over the place. And by the time you listen to this episode, who the heck knows how much they cost?
They are going to cost money. That's all we know. It's always going to cost money. There will be a price associated.
Just blink when it shows you so you don't feel the pain on individual lightning lanes. But on Genie Plus, here we go. Today, May 2nd, it was $22 a person.
Woo!
Pre-tax.
I hate that.
So that is really how much it costs. $22 a person. So you're going solo, $22 plus your 7% in tax. If you're a family of 4, well, then you're looking at what? $88 plus tax.
Yep.
So that is legitimately how much it costs. And that doesn't really answer any kind of question of if it's worth it.
No, but it's also great to be able to know that it is something added on. It doesn't come free with your package. You don't get it for having a park ticket. It is something you have to buy.
And what do you get with Genie Plus? You get to make lightning lanes. So you get that ability just to skip the line. There's some other features like ride photos if you don't have a memory maker. Also, you get some great filters for your camera. But what about the next question, Derek? What's the next one we're asked?
We're asked all the time, how do we determine the value of it?
Right. So $22, is that worth it? What's it worth? What's the value of that? Well, let's break it down by how much it costs to be in the parks, because Genie Plus is all about saving time, right, Derek?
Absolutely.
Like, that's
time is money.
Lanes. Right. So as of today, May 2nd, a Magic Kingdom ticket, 1-day ticket, right? the tickets cost different if you stay longer, if it varies. So we're going to just do a 1-day ticket. We're going to look at the value here. $159 for a Magic Kingdom ticket today. Right? Animal Kingdom, $139. Epcot and Hollywood Studios in between, okay? So here's the thing. How much is that worth per hour? The Magic Kingdom today was open from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. So 14 hours. That means the Magic Kingdom was $11.30 an hour. When you think about that in the grand scheme of things, like $159 to get the Magic Kingdom, it sounds high. But then you think like $11 an hour, considering what you get, the entertainment, the fireworks. Like, you know what? That seems a lot. When you break it down, I never really thought about it that way. Per hour, that's a lot more reasonable.
Yep.
So Animal Kingdom today was open for 10 hours. And so it's running at about $13.90 per hour. So let's look at the Magic Kingdom day. It was basically $11 an hour. Genie Plus costs $22 an hour. So if you can save two hours,
yep,
then it's essentially paid for itself in the time is money category.
Makes sense.
There's
way
other
to break
ways,
it down.
Right. There's other ways it's worth it. But if you're just going to simply look at the dollars per hour, anything you save over 2 hours is bonus.
Yep.
So there you go. That's kind of like the value of it is breaking it down by that. And so then you need to look at how much time you can actually save. And Touring Plans had a great article a couple months ago that I was looking at. And basically they looked at low crowds, medium crowds, and high crowds, and based off their average wait times, not the posted wait times. So if you book with a Touring Plans travel agent, you get access to the Lines app for free and Touring Plans optimizers, all that stuff. But you can submit your actual wait times when you're there. It's kind of fun. Give a kid a phone. It distracts them. They start it. They stop it. So using their data, like the lowest wait that they had that you were saving on average was like 130 minutes-ish at the Magic Kingdom. 130 minutes, the last time I checked, is over 2 hours, Derek.
That is.
So therefore,
it's paid for itself.
So in my opinion, that's kind of where we're valuing this, right?
Absolutely. No, I agree completely.
But that's the dollars and cents hour, like per hour breakdown. Makes sense there.
Yep.
But there's a lot more to it on the is it worth it. We got some pros and cons. Let's dive into those, Derek. What else makes Genie Plus worth it to you? What are the pros? Let's go through some pros.
Pros, I have kids. I don't want to wait in line with kids. So as many lines as I can skip makes Genie Plus worth it.
Yeah, even if you're not skipping an hour each time you do it, not everyone's going to be home run.
They also love the idea of skipping. Like it's a pro for the kids too. They get involved. We're looking at the app together. We're picking one. They know we might have to wait a few minutes to get in Jungle Cruise, but they look at the massive line of people we're skipping. It brings joy to all of our hearts.
I think it makes you feel like a VIP sometimes.
It really does, and it makes my kids feel spoiled.
Coming through, Genie Plus. I got the Genie Plus. That's one of the big things mentally. You're cruising
especially if you get a good one. Like I've seen Mine Train pushing an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you're like, do. All right, I'm in.
Right. Like so in that Touring Plans article, like that 130 something, that was at low times.
Yep.
Now Genie Plus price is going to go up and down to match the
crowds.
Yep. But at the peak times, you were saving so much time with Genie Plus.
Oh, absolutely.
The value of the per hour kind of trends with it. Even though you're paying more for Genie Plus, it's still
by the time you get to that fourth or fifth lightning lane, you're feeling like that's just bonus.
Right. Absolutely. And there's kind of two different strategies to using Genie Plus, right? You can take the next thing available and just churn through them, whether you're saving 20 minutes at a time or not, or you can be like, book your favorites to make sure you get those, or kind of stack them in the afternoon with the high-end ones, right? It's kind of, do you feel like those are kind of the main strategies we're seeing?
Oh, absolutely. I love stacking. Just makes the second half of the day great.
Because in the morning you can get through
So
attractions.
much with rope drop.
Right.
Yeah, there's rope drop radio. All of our listeners are up early and on the rope.
And you follow a good touring plan, like we've discussed on our How to Rope Drop
They're not
episode.
going to Swiss Family. No.
No, no. So I had a patient in that was a recent visitor to Disney World, and I asked this question of them: is Genie Plus worth it? And he did not say it was worth it. He said it's a necessity.
I agree with that. It's a necessary evil is what we say.
Yeah, so and that's kind of the first time family of four sort of thing. So there's some other pros to Genie Plus, and also the individual lightning lanes. We haven't really said much about those. I think every individual lightning lane we say is worth it. Like, spoiler alert, we're just gonna jump to the end of the show there, right?
You did. I didn't do it this
No,
episode.
normally
Usually
that's something
me.
Derek does.
It's holding off.
We haven't really mentioned individual lightning lanes. The pros are it's really beneficial.
The pros is I have no desire to wait in line for Tron with Doug.
Or Rise of the Resistance. Like, that's about the only way you get on predictably.
Exactly. That's the have to one. That one is kind
Yeah.
of. So that one's a little on the frustrating side. Do we want to talk a little bit about some things that might not be worth it with Genie Plus?
Yeah, there's some cons. Otherwise, we wouldn't ever get asked this question. If it
Yes.
was all sunshines and roses.
We have a lot of people that are on a tight budget, and I get that. And so there is some cons if you're if you're spending all the money to get there, you have a food budget, and you've just not prepared for the Genie Plus add-on expense. It might not be worth it if you're if that's not in the budget.
Right. Here's one huge con that I don't like. You cannot pay for this in advance at all.
Yep. 7
Right.
a.m. Well,
Midnight.
Before some midnight, yes.
Midnight, you can buy it. And like, you can't wait till 7 a.m. because
it
it
can
could
sell
sell
out. I know. It did actually over the holidays. Did you see
over
that?
spring break, Easter, it's sold out. So, and that's when the price is the highest. So it's nice to know Disney is actually capping the
didn't
capacity
believe them,
of it.
for the
I
record.
didn't
I'm
either. I
glad
thought
when
they'd
they,
just sell it.
yeah.
I was like, sold out.
Sold
Really,
out
Disney?
when it hits
You're not
100%.
taking my money, right? Like, so the huge con is you can't pre-buy it.
Yep.
And I'm not a fan of that. So I wish there was a way to pre-purchase it so you could roll it into your package and make payments towards it for 6 months, 8 months, 10, a year. But they're not letting you do that anymore. So that's one of the huge cons.
I have a couple other cons.
Show up on your credit card bill when you get home. And that's the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what are some of your others? Because I got a couple others too.
Okay. When it is crazy busy and it is sold out, you're not getting a whole lot of e-ticket second and third Genie Plus lightning lanes.
Right. The ones you get save you a lot of time.
Yep.
But you're not going to get as many, especially at the non-Magic Kingdom.
Absolutely.
Hollywood Studios, you get two. Basically, it saves you enough time to cover that cost per hour.
Yes.
But it still is frustrating because you wish there was more to get.
Yep.
Especially Rock and Roller Coaster down.
Yeah.
Right now with refurb.
There's very few things. Star Tours is a good number 2 at this moment.
I think you can do better than
I
that.
know you can.
Even on a busy day. Don't listen to that nonsense, Derek. Don't give it.
Just wait till Star Tours has the new Mandalorian scene.
Then
it's worth it. Okay.
Then it's. So, what other negatives do you have?
You can't get the same attraction more than once.
Oh, absolutely.
I would be going through Buzz Lightyear multiple times, and I didn't know that. The very first time we used Genie Plus, I was so confused. I didn't know that, and Doug,
I remember this.
You were like, "No, you can't do." I'm like, "How am I supposed to know that?"
Because the 6 different videos tutorial there wasn't even a tutorial back then.
Yeah, it was opening like a couple weeks, and I just did not realize. That one kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, they have some limitations, and I think one of the big negatives with Genie Plus is you buy it. Just buying it does nothing for you.
Absolutely.
You have to actively make your lightning lanes and make them on the right schedule. At 7 a.m., you need to be making one. Mm-hmm. At 9 a.m., you need to be making one.
It's so much stress at 7 a.m.
You
Not
have
the best
to be,
way to start the vacation.
Right. It's a steep learning curve. Same patient I talked to. He's like, the first day there was some rough moments, but after that we felt like we were pros, right? It's a steep learning curve, but once you figure it out, it is almost intuitive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's intuitive. I'd say almost.
I almost feel like I have to relearn every time I go down there, though. First day, I'm like,
They
oh,
make
yeah.
little changes to the tip board and stuff every so many months just to mess with you, Derek. It's
always
just to
me.
mess with you.
Me and all the other Disney annual pass holders who like to
Yeah.
complain about a lot of things. So any other things, Doug, that you feel like makes it not worth it?
The steep learning curve, I feel like it's homework.
It is.
It's a lot easier to just show up, have a good touring plan, and go through the parks without anything. And you can totally do that, especially the optimization on the touring plans. You can get a pretty solid plan.
Yep.
So, it's you can get around it, but it's going to require you to be staying on property, be there the extra half hour, rope drop, just and be ready to go. I think that's the negatives, right? It costs money, and like the bad thing is, so say you're going at peak time, hotel costs more, park ticket costs more. Every now and then there's a surge in food pricing. We haven't seen that since the restart though. And then Genie Plus is going to cost more, and the individual lightning lanes are going to cost more. So when you go at say Christmas, everything costs more.
Yep.
And at what point do you have to decide we're going to do no character meals because we're buying Genie Plus?
That's actually a discussion we just had for our trip coming up in June, because we're
Right?
doing 2 character meals. And I actually said, I don't think we get Genie Plus this one day. And my wife's like, why not? I'm like, just to save us some money on one day that we know we have 2 character meals in one day. We're going to be at the tables a lot.
Right. And
Why-
you guys
yeah.
are annual pass holders.
We go enough.
Not
Yep.
trying to maximize your 5 days. That's your first 5 days and could be your last 5 days ever. Right. So let's get into the final
knock
verdict
on
here, Derek.
something, because that makes me, remember we had a shutdown once. I don't want to ever relive that. So there you go.
Well, the Tourism Oversight Board will make sure it never shuts down again, Derek.
Yes, that's
I
a
know.
whole different
Yeah.
podcast.
We're not smart enough for that podcast.
No, not at all. So,
Although the dish has been doing a fantastic job
Len,
of
shout out to
covering
Len.
it.
There you go. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's
Final
talk
verdicts?
about final verdicts. Overall, is it worth it? If not, can we go through? We'll go through family, groups, and adults only.
Yeah. So let's
Okay.
start with families. Is it worth it for a family?
Yep.
When you go with a family, it adds up because you got 4 or 5
Mm-hmm.
people you're buying it for. But like you said at the very beginning, Derek, you don't like standing in line with your children.
Nope.
Is that because you don't love your children?
Oh, I
or is
love
it-
them. Absolutely. I just don't like standing. I actually am a bad line stander inner. And so having my children
True.
by me.
Derek is a bad line stander.
It is. It's true. The great queues on property pay for themselves to keep Derek's eyes occupied. In fact, I have listened to podcasts and audiobooks in lines just to keep myself distracted from the line. But I have a family of 5. I have little kids. I have a 5-year-old. And so, yes, it has been well worth it. We've done it every trip, almost every single day. And you know what? I said we're probably not going to get it during the 2 character meal day. We'll probably end up getting it at the last minute anyway. We'll make a game day decision. But it has been a necessary evil. My kids now fully understand the process. It's great that it's now a family thing. At 7 a.m., we're using multiple phones. So we have come to understand it, try to enjoy it. Do I hate paying for it? Absolutely. Do I miss the old Fast Pass? Absolutely. But I do understand the new system, and I'm going to make the use of it as best as I can.
Yeah, I think for family, it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
It's almost necessary because there's really, like, I love my kids, but I don't like my kids, especially in line.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
I always have a kid that has to go to the bathroom.
That is your
It happens a
MO.
lot. It happens.
Do you not have the rule when one person goes, everybody goes, Derek? Do you not institute that before you get in line?
We do. You never know with my kids.
Hmm.
Yeah. And maybe it's me. I got to go sometime. So
Oh,
you never
geez.
know. But all right. What about for multi-generational groups? This is a little bit more harder to navigate in the morning,
So
especially at 7 a.m.
this is tricky. So I think if you have someone that is taking the lead and definitely in charge, it's worth it for the whole group. But everybody has to kind of be on the same page. So that means like whoever you are that's listening to this podcast, congratulations, you are the captain now, right? And so you don't need, so say it's like with your in-laws and a brother-in-law and their family and everybody's kids. So you got 3 generations. You don't want everybody trying on their own accounts to make their own lightning lanes. Like if you're trying to do stuff together, that doesn't work. So you can actually use one account. The other people don't even need to make accounts. If they haven't been to Disney before and they're not planning on going back, they don't need to make accounts. Link all the resorts, all the tickets, all the park passes under one account, and it's super easy to make lightning lanes for everyone.
Yep.
However, if say you're going to be the family that rope drops together and then goes your separate ways and you see them at dinner, then you want separate accounts. So like maybe this one couple can buy Genie Plus, they do their thing. Maybe one family buys Genie Plus, they do their thing, and you see everybody at dinner. So there's 2 different ways to go. But you really have to communicate it and make a decision because you don't want to be making lightning lanes for a whole group that people are like, well, we're going to go eat lunch at Epcot.
It's like having a group of people try to pick their favorite topping on a pizza.
Yeah, you end up with 6 pizzas.
Yep.
So you either have to really have a plan going in or let people do it separate. And if you don't see them all day, you don't see them all day. But that's why you make dinner reservations. You try to turn it into a cruise where everybody eats dinner at this time, at this place, sort of thing. So I don't know. That one, I still think it's great because if you could just do 2 attractions together mid-morning, you've covered the per hour cost, right? But you have to really be coordinated on who does it, who plans it, that sort of thing. We did it with the extended group over a spring break, and we were basically like, this is the plan. Either you keep up or you fall behind, and we never see you again.
Okay. What about adults only, Doug? That's you and me here in a few weeks.
Yeah. So here
we will get it for Magic Kingdom.
We'll get it. And like we know we only need to do 2 attractions to make it worth it though.
Yeah.
So but yet at the same time we're annual pass holders. So our is it worth it is like we need to save a lot more time if we're going to play the dollars per hour thing. However, I don't want to spend time standing in line. I want to go on things, Derek, but I don't want to stand in line for them. So yeah, we're going to get it because time is money in other ways. Like we need to go on some attractions so we can experience them, report back about what we did, what we didn't do, how using Genie Plus worked.
Yep.
And then have time to meet up with listeners.
That's sounds like our trip.
I think it's great for adults only because you're not buying as many either.
Yep, saving money. So the last one is solo. This one's a tough one because as an annual pass holder, do I really, it's like, oh, I know which rides I need to do. I'm not doing a bunch of different ones for my kids. This is the only time I could say, is it worth it? Yeah, I'm going to save some time, but it doesn't always need to be as well.
I'm going to say it's super worth it as a solo traveler.
Because it's only $22 or whatever it is at
the
price, yeah.
Right, you're only paying for one. It's also, one thing we haven't talked about, lightning lanes, if you're only trying to find one, there's a lot more availability than trying to find 5.
Yep.
So a solo traveler can just boom, 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 keep getting. Like when we had Nathan on who did the Around the World Challenge thing, he kept talking about, I pulled this, I pulled this, I pulled this. And I mentioned a couple times through there, like, yeah, because you're pulling one. He didn't understand what I was saying. But if you're only pulling one lightning lane, it's a lot easier to find one lightning lane for Space Mountain than it is for 5.
That's
so
true.
Keep that in mind. A solo traveler or like adults only, you're only trying to pull 2, something like that. It makes it worth it because when you're at Hollywood Studios, you can find all the lightning lanes, but you're there with that multi-generational group of 15. it's harder to find the lightning lanes. So you got to kind of remember that too. That's what makes the solo one so much more worth it. Is it's really the Disney World is your oyster at that point.
I just don't like going solo.
Well, you can't handle solo, Derek. Are you going to be okay on your flight down?
Yeah, I'm meeting up with Ryan. We'll be there at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm talking a flight. Are you going to be okay?
I'll be okay. I can fly solo. I need a good show. I got to catch up on a couple shows, so we'll be good on the airplane.
All right, and I think individual lightning lanes follow the same thing. Individual lightning lanes,
especially
I will say,
if you want to do that attraction.
Right. It's if you want to do it, then it's a must. It's good for the multi-generational. If you're not going to get Genie Plus, remember, you can still do the individual lightning lanes. So you can still book a Tron or a Mine Train through that and not have to worry about Genie Plus. Let everybody be on their own and just follow a good touring plan if you do that. But I think we both agreed it's worth it for the most part,
It is. I definitely love how you broke down the cost, save 2 hours. That's how I always kind of viewed it. We've had a couple where Slinky Dog has been 2+ hours, and that one kind of paid for itself. So
right, and Slinky Dog's almost always 45 to 60 minutes minimum. So you get Slinky,
get 3 or 4 Genie Plus lightning lanes, then you're great.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You have to set a timer. Keep booking them when your timer goes off. Stack them up. Get as many as you can. Pays for itself.
And if you're doing the method where you just whatever's available, next available, just remember as soon as you tap in, make your next one while you're still in line, like while you're waiting to board, that sort of thing.
There you go. Well, hopefully this answers your question. We get it quite a bit with Genie Plus. It is definitely still controversial, to say the least. I think Disney fans have not gotten used to it yet, and they love to still argue about it.
We all miss the free Fast Pass.
We do. We hear you. We know you're yelling it right now at us.
Would rather do that.
Back in my day, it was a paper. We know.
Yeah, I don't know that I miss having having to plan the 3 things so far in advance.
Oh, I don't miss that at all.
But I do miss knowing going into the trip, you know what? I have Flight of Passage, I have Safari, and I have Everest for my day at
3
Animal
e-tickets
Kingdom.
already booked.
Set.
Done.
Already done.
I can go road drop another e-ticket or 2. Yeah, it was great.
You don't have to wonder what else
we sound like
get.
Old men. We're no longer hot Disney dads. We're old like, yes, back in my day, the Disney parks weren't as crowded. And so... there you go. Genie Plus in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please message us at Rope Drop Radio on all the things. We definitely will answer them as best we can. We get them all the time from people in the parks. Also, tag us when you're at Rope Drop or in the parks at Rope Drop Radio. We love that. We haven't had one in a couple days.
Yeah, come on, people.
Except the trumpet squid. The trumpet squid hashtag, it's a thing. Hashtag trumpet squid. That keeps getting dinged, so thank you for that. But yeah, definitely interact with us on social media. We love it. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. We are going to get on to the Patreon after show. If you want to hear that and more, we have a ton of bonus and after show episodes on Patreon. You'll have to go check out the link in the show notes. And of course, if you want to try Genie Plus yourself, or you're thinking about doing a Disney trip, you're going to have to go in the show notes, click the link to our TouringPlans Travel specialists. They will help you have a magical, awesome trip. They'll help you with questions, booking, and all the things. They know more than Doug and I. Easy.
Yes, so that's who we ask questions.
That is true. In fact, whenever we mess up on this show, we get messages from multiple destination specialists. Thankfully,
notice we never announce our retractions.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. So, all right. Well, we are going to get to the after show again. Thank you so much for helping us get to 500 reviews. Be sure to share your favorite episode and why it's one of the ones where I tortured Doug. So that is all the time that we have. So for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.